What up, everyone? You're now tuned into my podcast, Difficult People Chronicles. I'm Seriously Focused Johnnie, SF Johnnie. Today, I want to talk to you all about a different level of gratification. I know a lot of people don't use Wikipedia, but I liked their definition. Gratification is the pleasurable emotional reaction of happiness in response to fulfillment of a desire or goal. The last few days, I've been speaking with different people about situations that are all the same. And the situations is about leadership. People who are placed in a leadership position, but they aren't built to be a leader. They are getting in these positions through what I call a back door. I was conversing with this individual and I explained, now don't mind me, I try to make situations a little easy so you could see the picture. So within a few days, 3 different situations, 3 different people, 3 different companies. One of the companies is in another state. You have 2 people. You got Annabella and you got Barbara. Annabella and Barbara are both currently in the same position. They are managers. Annabella has that whole professionalism, skill set, mannerism, character, integrity, vision, all of that. Knows how to use the computer, knows how to communicate, knows how to conduct herself. Barbara has a GED, nothing wrong with a GED, but she doesn't have the motivation to further her education. She doesn't know the computer, unprofessional, disrespectful, attitude, all of that. One of the things as a manager is that she plays in between, meaning that she doesn't have boundaries and she doesn't know how to be a manager in a sense where she acts like the staff that she's supposed to be leading. Feel me? So after I heard all these situations, I don't know, it just kept bothering me. And I was on the phone talking to my mentor about other things. And, I brought up the conversation and my mentor had me laughing, and he was basically saying, he gave me an example of his company. And he said, basically there's been situations where sometimes you have a position vacant for so long. It's because people that are coming for the position is not right. And he said, when it came to HR coming to him saying, you need to hire this person, he was like, no, you hire them. He said, if you like them so much, you hire them. He said, I already put out that the position is available to my staff, and my staff finds people that they want to put in that position. I don't care if it's family or whatever, they will contact me and let me know. He says, but I don't want to take just any and anybody off the streets. He says, because a lot of times you want to give people the chance, but what happens is a lot of times these people, they walk in and they only good until they get in the door. And you have attitude, they don't want to do the work, they showing up late, everything. It's just crazy. And he says, so if you want to hire this person, whoever you want me to interview, you hire them. So when they start messing up, you deal with it. So I started laughing. And he said, Johnnie, you're right. Everybody is not built to be a leader. He said, one of the blessings I have in all the years that I've been working for the company I work for is that I have a great staff. And I tell them that, I show them that, he says, if they need anything from me, I bend over backwards, references, if they want to go on to different companies. He says, yes. And he says, and I always tell them, if you leave your position and you know somebody that work well and you want to refer them to me, he said, don't hesitate to call me. So I was like, wow. He was like, yeah. He says, you seen it. I even reach out to you sometimes and ask you if you know of anybody that wants to work where I work. And I was laughing. And he said, because he said, I can't deal with certain things. I need people that are workable. So the big word was workable. So now back to what I was saying about Annabella and Barbara. It's a big difference between the two of them. One shows leader qualities basically, and the other one doesn't. With Barbara, like I said, being operations leader for the company, she operates like a line staff, not knowing her role. So the person said to me, oh, that's messed up. How could they do that? And I said, it's not, a lot of times people in companies are messed up. But what I came up with was opportunity plus power equals gratification, meaning that Annabella and Barbara don't get along. Outside of work, inside of work, they don't get along. And most of the problems is because Barbara doesn't pull her weight when it comes to workload. And they both have to work together, both on the same level. So now that Barbara is going into her position, this new position, it's going to pose a problem. So they said, why? And I says, well, all she wants is the opportunity to have the power over the other person, which is Annabella. And it will make her have pleasure to say, I am ruling over you. In this situation, it is not good. So I told the person, Annabella is away working on a project in the field, never was given the opportunity to apply for this position. The position was never open that anybody could apply to this position, making it fair. And what's going to happen is that Barbara is going to get the position that Annabella should have had. When Annabella finds out what has happened, she's going to be very upset. It's either it might go well and then it might not go well. Because what's going to happen is that Annabella might find another job forcing Barbara to level up, meaning that she's going to have to do the work without Annabella. And also it's like Barbara is being an exhibitionist. She just wants people to see that she has the position over Annabella, even though she's not built for it. So it's a form of she's grateful for that opportunity to be over Annabella, which is a bad thing, you know? And to sum it up, I said there's a difference between leaders and followers. Leaders see direction and vision, and followers see whatever the leader shows them or tells them to see. Like, you need to see this. Let me break it down. Leaders have 20/20 vision, and then they turn around and give followers a set of glasses. If you put a follower in a leader position, it spells disaster, confusion, because they don't know who they are. They're still stuck in that following mentality. They never learn the essence of what it takes to be a leader. And then sometimes you have, which is very rare, you have followers that can see the same vision as the leader. And you call that a leader in the making. One of the things that I use to define a leader, a few things, is integrity, ability to adapt to change, vision, respect, communication, and autodidact. That's when you are autodidact, is basically a person who teaches themselves. They don't have a problem learning from other people, but a lot of times they teach themselves. They observe the world around them. They travel, they read, they discover, they got wisdom, they learn from God. Yeah. In life, when you have a bad leader in position, things start to crumble right before your eyes. Sounds familiar? They fight hard for a position they are not built for. And also, it's like it's kind of like in situations where people give their grateful speech, like, oh, I'm so grateful, I'm so humbly grateful. And it's for situations you can look at this person and tell they're not right. They wasn't right from the beginning. And you all sit back and wonder, how did they get that position? And before you know it, they go crashing right down to the ground. Them and their position. Later.